Hi, welcome to How to Repair. This video is on a tumble dryer that's not turning, how to diagnose the fault and how to replace the part. This video is on Bosch and Siemens manufactured machines listed below in the description. The serial number and model number can be found inside the door if you need to obtain parts. Now this tumble dryer is not turning, but when we actually turn it on, you can't hear the motor turning. This is a good indication that you either have a fault with the motor or possibly a fault with the capacitor. Now with my amp meter I can see even after I turn the heat system off, it's still drawing 2 amps, but you cannot hear the drum turning. Now if you listen closely you could have heard a buzzing noise, but you will be able to hear it much more clearly once we get the lid off. Now on these Bosch machines sometimes there are 2 screws in the side which are covered with a plastic cap. You can see me here using a flat blade screwdriver lifting the cap off, and underneath that is a Phillips, or on some machines it will be star drive. Now once we've removed these you need to go to the back of the machine, and again there will be either 2 Phillips screws or 2 star drives, and then we'll be able to lift the lid off. Once we have the lid off you will be able to inspect to make sure that the belt is on the drum. There normally are only 4 reasons why a tumble dryer is not turning. The most common is the belt, the capacitor can fail, the motor can fail, or you may have a problem with either the wiring or a faulty circuit board or timer on earlier models. Now as you can see with this machine, the belt is good. If you do have a problem with the belt, you will be able to see our other videos at the website on how to change the belt. When a capacitor has failed, the motor does not have the capability to start turning the drum under its own power. Basically you hear a humming noise, and by pushing the drum I'm able to ascertain that the capacitor has gone down. Normally you can test capacitors with a mega, but most people don't have these. So by carefully pushing the drum at the top, and if you're not competent with electrics it's worth getting someone in to do this for you, but we're able to see that the capacitor was down but the motor is still good. So the first thing we need to do now is disconnect the machine from the electricity supply and locate the capacitor. On this machine the capacitor is located next to the motor and it's held on a bracket. Now we need to remove the back. At the back here do be careful because you have the heater system. Also you can see this in other videos on how to change thermostats and the heaters. But hidden down here on the motor is the capacitor. I'll just get my torch for you to see. Now there on the side of the motor is the capacitor. Now we're lucky on this machine, Bosch has actually created an inspection hatch at the bottom. But before handling capacitors you need to know that even when the machine is unplugged they can still hold a charge. And I'm going to show you how to make sure you do this safely and discharge the capacitor before handling it or touching any of the electrics, as you will get an electric shock from a capacitor even when the appliance is unplugged. So we're going to take the base plate off here, or the inspection hatch. The reason why I took the back of the machine off was you will need to actually hold the capacitor while you undo the 13 or 14 mil bolt, depending on which capacitor was fitted to your machine. They did fit 8 microfarad and 9 microfarad capacitors to some of these machines. Now before touching the terminals on the end of the capacitor, this machine has got a plastic cap. You should always use an insulated electrical screwdriver to go across the 2 terminals which you can see here. This will discharge the capacitor and stop it holding any charge if it was still capable of holding a charge. You may get a crack noise if it has got a charge in it, but that's only the electricity discharging. Then you just need to pull the two terminals off, and this is the DUF capacitor. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, but it has actually stopped holding a charge. And as I said earlier, this is 8 microfarad, and we're replacing it with the new type capacitor, which is 8 microfarad. And the only electrical way you can test capacitors is using a mega, which is basically an electrical meter which pumps electricity into the capacitor to check the storage capability. Be careful when wiring the new capacitor up, as there are two sides to a capacitor. It doesn't matter which way round the wires go, but you need to make sure that you're putting one wire on the positive side and one wire on the negative side. Then we're just fitting the cap back onto the end. Sometimes on the Bosch, the new capacitors can be slightly wider and the cap does not fit perfectly. What I suggest you use is a little bit of duct tape just to hold the cap in place. Now we'll just put the base of the machine back on and the back of the machine on, and then we'll put the machine on test so you can see it all working. Please remember to buy the parts from us at the website, as that's what keeps us going and able to make these free videos for you. There are links to the left which will take you to other tutorials on tumble dryers and also the FAQ section. And if we did manage to help you fix your tumble dryer, there is also a buy a beer button which supports the website by donating a small amount to us for making these free videos. And as I said earlier, on the top left you can see the correct part for this tumble dryer. We also carry capacitors for all makes and models. Here we've got the machine ready, plugged it back into the electricity supply, just turning it on for a 10-minute cycle, press the start button, and now you can see the drum turning freely. And we'll just stop the machine, restart it, and now the capacitor has the power to turn the motor on the initial startup. And there you go. Thanks very much indeed for watching this video. Please remember to support the website, and you can also join us on our Facebook channel as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks very much indeed for watching this video, and we hope we helped you.